Hello, all, welcome to my channel. Today, I want to talk about something um, different. I have picked a new hobby that is crocheting. I've actually started crocheting a few years back when I was about to give birth to my first daughter. I started doing a hat for her, but unfortunately, the hat was a size smaller because I was new at crocheting. I didn't know the basics. I was just trying to copy the steps that I saw in a YouTube video and tried to follow the steps along, but somehow I lost track and I didn't know um, how it could be turned, and it was a failure. But I have kept the project for all along, and I've always wanted to do that for my second child as well. But I didn't do this uh, before delivery. I thought after delivery I'll again pick up that habit and hobby, and here I am. And there are some projects that I've done so far. This is the first one that I've tried. This is supposed to be a granny square, which after I did, I understood that there are some mistakes here, especially at this place. If you are a crocheter, you would be able to find that mistake here. This is an additional um, cluster here. So this again was a failure. Then I did another granny square again. Not so perfect, but I got the jinx of it. I did another project, which is a coaster, and this was an okay project. Then I did a solid granny square again, which is quite good for a beginner. Then I started doing a flower bouquet, which is supposed to look like this from this view and like this from the side view. Once you open it, it's supposed to be a coaster. But again, it was good in the beginning, but once you cut the thread, I somehow messed it up. So this was how it went so far. But I'm not here talking about how to crochet or the crocheting tips. I'm here to talk about what crocheting has taught me. Crocheting, just like any other art form that uses your hand, triggers your brain, and it's a very good tool to get your brain to start working. Maybe it has been stagnant for a while. I think you have to pick a new hobby that uses your hand, and there is so much of hand-eye coordination. There is so much of your cognitive thinking. You're putting your brain to action, and that's a good thing to do. One more thing that I learned while crocheting is you have to know the language of crochet to start crochet. It's just like reading the music notes before starting to learn to sing or learning the song per se. So if you are, suppose this is the last one that I did. If you want to do this, there are two ways to do this project. Either you can follow blindly any YouTube video who's detailing the every single step involved in the making of this bag, and you can blindly follow along, or else you can start from the basics and learn the basic stitches, how every stitch works, how each stitch looks on a project, what are the yarn types that you can use for each and every project, what are the kind of hooks, what kind of yarn thickness is used for what kind of hook size. So these are certain things you should be aware of before starting a project, and then you go follow along. You start with granny square maybe, probably, and then do a coaster so that you understand how it works, and then go to bigger projects. So you're not just blindly following the steps, you're understanding the language, the very language that it speaks. In life also, when you try to understand something, maybe you are learning it wrong, maybe you are looking it from a wrong angle. Start looking from the base, start looking from the foundation, start seeing where it's supposed to be understood from. Okay, that is one lesson that I've learned. One more thing is, when you understand this language and suppose you mess up halfway through, you are, you have that eye to pick the mistake. You can go all the time, you can go a few steps back and then start again. Not from the scratch, not from ground zero, but you can start where you have messed up, where you have faltered. And why this is important is, in life there are situations which put you in a spot where you feel like, you have messed everything up, you have to start again from zero, and it can be quite disappointing and completely disheartening. But once you understand where you falter, you go back to that space, you you correct that situation and then go forth. You don't always have to start from zero, and that's okay. Taking a few steps, taking a leap forward is always fine, and that's something that crocheting teaches you. Another thing that you practice while you crochet is patience, because it requires dexterity, it requires a lot of hand-eye coordination for sure. But one thing it it wants you to have is at most patience, because you're doing stitches, you're using yarn. Sometimes the yarn doesn't follow along the hook, sometimes there are 4-ply yarns, and sometimes it tangles it, it can mess up at any point in time. So you have to have patience and hope and the presence of mind while doing this art. So maybe this is your sign to start picking a new hobby, start developing it, and it's good. So keep practicing, keep doing, because you are never going to be good or perfect or best at what you do the very first day. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes patience, and it takes the mind to learn, to understand, to always start to get where you are supposed to be and where you wish to be. So start today, keep going, and you will be where you are supposed to be.